Yep, I was muted. I was muted. Oh, son of a biscuit. Sorry, I have a 1 month old. I did not sleep much last night, and I was up late gambling. Sorry about that. Son of a biscuit. But Ober, there's been some line movement. Steel, I would still take it at minus 134, which is what it's at right now. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. It's been rough. Gaussman. Now, so still had the steel line, still had the over line, a little bit of bad line movement on over, a little bit of good line movement on steel. Gaussman over 6.5 strikeouts, minus 125. Let's see what's at now. Minus 135, I'd still take it at that. Gaussman has been absolutely crushing so far this season. He's been so good this year. 35% K rate, I think so, on the season. Gaussman has been one of the best pitchers in the league. Yeah, 34.2% K rate. Not a terrible like baiter here. Don't pay attention to that 3.3% K rate. That's not going to continue. So the Yankees, fine matchup, not great, not terrible when it comes to strikeouts. But Gaussman has been so ridiculously good. He's going to face a few lefties in here, but still very solid versus righties. I really like the over at 6.5 still, even at minus 135. Castillo under 17.5 outs. This one, I don't know if it's worth anymore. I think it's moved a lot. Minus 120 on the under. That's a little bit tough. Matchup versus Boston. Boston, very good hitting team, very low strikeouts. Can put the ball in play. It's good weather over in Boston. Boston, one of the best hitting ballparks in the league. Castillo, very good, but not going to be an easy spot here. He struggled a little bit more versus lefties than he has versus righties, giving up a lot more hard contact. He's facing, looks like 7 lefties in the lineup here. So I'm not liking him to go very late. I'm also taking the under on his strikeouts, 4.5 at plus 115. This was mostly an odds play. Castillo, I know we have a drinking for plus 120 over at FanDuel. Still wouldn't mind it there. But Castillo, just such a tough matchup going up against this many lefties and this tough of an environment here playing in Boston. What was the weather? It's hot. I think the wind's blowing out at 10 miles an hour. Just double checking, see if it's 75, 12 miles an hour wind blowing out. They have a decent 4.28 total. Castillo lines are just a bit too high. Kyle Muller under 16.5 outs. This one I think has gotten some bad movement here for me. No, minus 140. You can still get minus 140. Don't mind that. Tough matchup versus Arizona. Doesn't have the longest leash in the world. Arizona does not strike out. Fairly patient team. Puts the ball in play a lot. Not a ton of walks, which isn't great. Muller has not been great. He's been really wild and erratic. Yep. I am rolling with his under there. We'll go over some basketball real quick. But before I get to that, shout out to our sponsor, Shady Rays. If you don't know what it is, sunglass company, independently owned, great protection. Basically, every single one has a lost or broken guarantee. If it gets lost or broken, then boom, you just send it back. No questions asked. Then they send you a new one. Donated 20 million meals to fight hunger. If you don't like your pair, you can either exchange it for a new pair within 30 days or just return them for free. It's that simple. If you want to get a pair, exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out the best deal of the new year. Go to shadyrays.com and use promo code RotoGrinders for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try it for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. So go check them out. Basketball. We got Aaron Gordon over 13.5 points, minus 115 at Caesars. He's been up and down so far in this playoffs. Been very up and down. But the minutes have been there. Guy averaged 16 points per game over the course of the regular season in just 30 minutes. He should play high 30s minutes in this spot. They're going to need him. Not going to have to do as much on the defensive end without Kevin Durant in there. I know it's still a tough matchup and probably going to have to be on either LeBron or on Anthony Davis. Probably going to have to do a decent amount of work, but usage should be there in this series. I don't know why it hasn't been there. Still had 7 shot attempts in the last series per game. Expecting something a little bit higher here, making this number just a tad bit too low. And then MPJ over 22.5 points, rebounds, assists, minus 111 at Caesars. We have him projected for 25 PRA in this spot here. MPJ wasn't terribly active in the last series. I'm not expecting that again. This guy is too good of an offensive weapon. 22.5 points, rebounds, assists, too low. George Spring, let's get some turd bombs here, and then we'll get some more baseball bets or more pitcher bets. George Springer to hit home run plus 600 over at Caesars. George Springer gets a matchup versus German giving up a decent amount of bombs, 1.59, I believe, over the course of his career. Getting hit hard by righties so far this season. 197 ISO. The hard contact has been there. The fly balls have been there. Springer has a lot of pop. This guy's a 35 home run guy. If he's healthy all season long. I know he has not been playing great, but plus 600 is just bad odds. Same thing with Vlad. Vlad, 88 home runs since the beginning of 2021, just over 2 seasons. Vlad, lots of pop, plus 500, going up against German. German gives up a lot of hard contact, a lot of home runs, 1.59 per 9. Like I already said, really like him there. And then the last turd bomb here, Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez, very good hitter, very good player, better from the left side of the plate, does not strike out almost at all, puts the ball in play a lot, going up against Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn is giving up an absolutely absurd 4 home runs per 9 on the season, giving up to lefties, just ridiculous number. If you want to go nailer, that's fine too. I just prefer Jose Ramirez in this spot. Massive 452 WOBA on this year versus lefties. Massive 350 ISO. Fly balls 43%. Hard contact close to 50. Great. What do I think on Cincy versus Colorado home run game? Any home run plays there. I was thinking about taking Farley or India for the home runs. I didn't love the odds on it. I think you should pick one for Dinger Tuesday. Don't forget to opt into Dinger Tuesday. Again, the matchup is solid here. Looking at the lineup, Bryant's not in there. Crone's not in there. So it's a little bit tough. I just didn't love the odds on it. The odds on it were a little bit too low for me. I mean, depends on what site you're on, but FanDuel, let's look at some of them. So let's see. Probably want to target righties going up against him. So Grichuk would be the main one. And last time I checked, I don't think his odds were high enough. Grichuk, yeah, plus 450 is not great. I don't hate it. Guys, 25 home run hitter. Good matchup. India, probably not bad. Fraley, not bad. Who do I like best with Dinger Tuesday? Honestly, I'm not loving most of the odds. Let's look at some of them here. I've mostly done on Caesars and Bet365 because the odds aren't great. Olsen, probably not terrible. Let's see what we really like here. So, Nick, I'm probably not. Prado versus San Diego. Don't mind that. Dude has some solid pop. If you want to take one from that game, probably staying away from Miami-Washington game. Trammell, don't mind that here. Really good spot going up against Pavetta. I don't mind Trammell. I don't mind Eugenio Suarez is probably over on 560. I'll probably end up going with that. Kelnick, if you don't want to go with Suarez, Kelnick, gosh, well, we really project him for a home run here versus Pavetta. I might have to end up hitting that. Big dumper. Again, a lot of them are in the Seattle game, so I'm going to try and find some other ones. Honestly, depends on how many. I would probably Fraley, Kelnick, 2 main ones that I would end up going with. Yeah. Let's keep moving on here. Next one, well, pitcher props. Dean Kramer under 17.5 strikeouts, minus 115 at Betfred. Let's check out where the next best line is. Kramer, minus 135. Maybe not worth it there, but Kramer still goes fairly deep in the game, but tough matchup going up against the Angels. I'm rolling with the under. Steele already talked about under 4.5 strikeouts. Schuster, under 4.5 strikeouts, plus 105. This guy's not major league ready. He hasn't been great so far. Has huge control issues thus far in his 2 starts, 4 and 5 walks, I want to say. Matchup versus Texas, not a great one, not a terrible one for strikeouts. 19.9% so far this season, but 22% I think since the beginning of last season. Yeah, 23%. Schuster just not quite ready. Wasn't a huge strikeout guy in the minors. Huge control issues. I don't think he gets close to 4.5. I think you can get this plus 110 over at, I want to say MGM. See, plus 105 over MGM. So still same line. I'd roll with it. Justin Steele under 17.5 outs, minus 105 over at Caesars. Again, very tough matchup going up against Houston. I really like the under in this spot. Again, he's been going over fairly consistently, but Houston, very tough matchup here. I think he gets beat up a little bit. I think he's been overperforming a bit. Lance Lynn, under 5.5 strikeouts, minus 120 over at Betfred. Let's see what the next closest line is. I know Betfred isn't in a lot of states. Minus 112. So, yeah, roll with that. FanDuel just won't let me get jacked down. Matchup versus Cleveland. Cleveland, one of the lowest strikeout rate teams in the league. Besides Zunino, everyone is low strikeouts. A lot of lefties in here. He does have a 30% K rate, I believe, going up against lefties this season, but historically 8% lower K rate going up against lefties for his career. 5.5, too high of a line. Shane Bieber under 5.5 on the other side there. Bieber hasn't been striking out guys a ton so far this season. 18.8%. Decent matchup going up against Chicago, but this number is just a bit too high. Has had 4 in every single matchup except for 2. And those were very good matchups. I want to say Detroit and Oakland were the only ones to hit the over. And Brandon Williamson. Not major league ready at all. Like, not at all. The dude had a 20% K rate last season in the minors, 16.4%, 14 and 12% walk rate in AAA the last 2 seasons, even in AA, 13.4% walk rate. Matchup in Coors, the guy is going to get crushed, absolutely crushed in this spot. I have no idea why they brought him up. This line is low, but it's not nearly low enough. Getting it plus odds, I think you can get at plus 110 over MGM. Oh no, it's moved minus 120. I'd still take it at minus 120. Not even a question. Line's too high. That's it. That's the show. Baseball season starting to get into the swing of things. My child's sleeping moderately throughout the night, so started making some decent money on baseball recently. Let's keep things rolling. I'm out of here. Later, kids.